Damn, Ingenious made the beat. Yo, welcome to another episode of the Coach Life Podcast Radio. I'm, of course, your host, the Prince of Positivity, Coach Steve. Back with me in the seat again, my co-pilot, partner in crime, my PIC. How we doing, Brody? Coach Luna, how we doing, man?
Man, I'm glad to be back, dog. I feel like I've been like MJ when he went ahead and took a step away for a little bit. No, it was just what, maybe 2 months, maybe
Back
two,
like four
three.
five, bro.
Man, dog. But it felt longer than that, man. But in this time, man, I've feel like I've grown even more. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a blessing to come back, feeling a little recharged.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How the season go?
Well, our seventh grade A team ended up winning district. Um,
Hey,
Man, we're going. Our little goons are scoring 29 points a game and giving up 4 points a
they said, nah, you ain't seeing this in the zone.
game. You're not crossing the 50, and you're gonna see us crossing the 50.
There it is, yo. There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Successful
man.
season right there. Super
Definitely.
successful.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
man. It was definitely a fun football season.
Awesome, awesome. Well, again, we got a good one for you. We always got a good one for you. I feel like it's always good when we get a chance to chop it up about any topic for that matter. We had a plethora of coaches on recently, so today we kind of turn the corner a little bit and we talk about something that I think is near and dear to both me and Luna's heart for sure, for sure. And that's the hidden work. We're gonna talk a little bit today about the invisible work. The work that don't nobody see. It's the stuff you do in the dark. It's just between you and God. Stuff that you working out. So we're gonna kind of dive and chop up this particular topic and talk about why it's important to do that work. How can you continue to do that work? And what happens when you start doing this work and you still around the same circles? Crazy, right? Crazy. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but if I get a chance to in editing, we'll go ahead and throw this link in. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see that Cam and Jason Wilson Cam's podcast when he had Jason Wilson on. But at the end of that podcast, heavy, right, bro?
Really
Heavy.
good.
At the end of this pod, Cam made the comment. Again, he closed every show the same way, where he have everybody look at the camera and say one love. But the way that he tell them to say one love is like he should have them show a certain sign, right? A certain hand gesture. And this hand gesture has a lot of different meanings. And if you know what the hand gesture is, which I'm not gonna do the hand gesture right now, but that hand gesture in sign language means I love you. But in other areas, that same hand gesture is satanic. And Jason, who's trying to stand on business, said I can't participate in that. And one of the things that kind of blew up at the end of that pod was just Cam kind of it seemed I'm just speculating because I'm not in Cam's mind. I don't know how he feels, but it seems like he was a little offended. He seemed like he was a little heartbroken that he didn't do the same signs and the same things that he was doing and wanted to do. And one of the best responses that I heard for somebody standing on business and saying that this is not what I want to do, right? This is not what I want to represent, was him saying, I know what my standard is. And not saying nothing about your standard, but I know what my standard is. And I know that if I participate in certain things, that it's a slippery slope. And because of that, and because of me knowing myself, and because of me knowing where I want to go, I can't do that. And out of respect, I I don't think you asked for anything else from somebody. It just literally just told you respect how I feel about the situation, respect how, where I'm coming from, and just leave it at that. That should have been the end of it. But it seemed like we were a little hurt by it. At least Cam was a little hurt by it. But this all stems from the work that Jason was doing and putting himself through to make sure he is operating at a certain level.
Yeah.
Coach, there's a lot of invisible work that we put ourselves through to get to where we want to get to. You go to the gym, I'm pretty sure you ain't going to the gym for nobody else but for Coach Luna. You ain't doing that
Yeah.
for nobody else but you, right? Oh, and Bree.
Correct. Correct. And it's funny that you say that, and everything, and especially within the context that you're currently speaking in, because I caught myself at some point. I think I want to say maybe like August or September. If you look at the last time I had like recorded a video until like maybe a week or two ago,
Hmm.
I got to a point where I asked myself, "Am I doing this to like garner attention? Like what is my intention behind these videos and stuff?" So I kind of went on a little hiatus for a little bit, just on social media,
Hmm.
period, because I just wanted to make sure I was within the alignment. And basically coming out of that whole meeting, just talking with God and letting the conviction work, it was just like, man, just do the work, just keep working, and through the results, like my workouts have cut shorter as far as the amount of time, the duration. It's not lasting 2.5 hours because I'm not sitting there trying to edit a video. And I feel like my workout intention is better because I'm focusing on what needs to be focused on. And not to take away anything away from like trying to get
Hmm.
content, but it's like which hill am I going to battle?
Right.
Which hill am I going to struggle on? And nothing in the conviction of what I received from the Lord when He made me start feeling like I need to start doing these things, I need to start establishing these habits and this discipline. Nothing in that did He tell me, "Hey, make sure you record it too." And when I look back and I think about that, it was like, yeah, you told me just keep going. Okay,
Super simple, bro.
it's okay. I,
Super
I
simple.
will. I will.
So,
So dealing with those things, man, and feeling that conviction and learning how to respond correctly to that conviction. It requires work. It requires a lot of work.
so let's break this down a little bit because when we talk about invisible work, I mean, what is that invisible work? That mental work, that physical work, that spiritual work, right? Like, what are those levels of work that you're doing that help keep you focused and keep that standard that you're trying to set for yourself?
I think the easier way to identify what the work is by being better to being better at being able to minimize the distractions.
Mm,
So what I mean by that is it's decluttering. So have identifying exactly what it is that you're trying to do and what exactly your conversations with God, the convictions that you're receiving within certain things that God's trying to take you away from,
hmm.
and He's trying to move you into a certain direction. It's learning how to remove yourself from those areas. And one of the practical things that I just started doing was um, becoming the identities that I know for sure God has placed on my heart. So for me, I'm not a father yet, but I am a husband. I am a coach. I am a brother. I am a son. I am a grandson. I am, and those things are for sure five five labels that no one can take away from me because this is the things that I currently am that have been bestowed upon me. And I
Right.
am a friend. I'm that as well, right? Being able to identify those things and my role within those things how high of a standard do I want to be known as those things? Like, how good do I want to be in those roles? So really what it was, bro, I just reshaped priorities. I made the main things the main things. And when I say all those are identities that were granted upon me from him. So he's at the head of all of everything, right? So from there, here's the umbrella of the other roles that I got to take on. Other than that, man, I'm not trying to get it because that's where all the clutter and all that other stuff is because you start trying to satisfy your identity in the minds of 1,000 people instead of solidifying the high standard of who you're supposed to be that God bestowed upon you to this amount of people.
Right.
And that's all that matters. But instead, we flip it. And because of the effect of social media, I want to be seen like that by everybody.
Facts.
And
Facts.
now you invite all of that energy to try to think that you can be that for everybody. And that's just not fair. And what ends up happening is you fall into a whirlpool of emotions, emotional irregularities, and all these other things that you don't even realize, and you're getting pulled left and right, left and right, left and right. Meanwhile, the person that you're supposed to be taking care of at home, or people that you're supposed to be taking care of at home, getting neglected. It's
Just
a very slippery slope, bro.
I was just about to say that. That's the slippery slope right there.
Coach, I'm so, and this is what's piercing my heart right now. Unplug, unplug.
So let's talk about that. Obviously, when we talk about the work that nobody sees, that's between you, yourself, and God. That's
100%.
that's all. That's super simple. We'll keep it very, very basic, right? In that work, obviously, there's routine that becomes habit. There's routines that ends up breaking habits.
A rhythm.
There's a rhythm that ends up happening. You start getting into a groove, right? It's almost like again we talk about coaching, and I love this because in a lot of the past pods that we just had, where I just had a number of my previous coaches that I got a chance to coach with and coach me. One of the things that has always been rooted in pretty much everybody's philosophy has been making sure that kids can play fast and understanding the game. And to understand the game and understand how to play fast, you got to stop thinking so much. And a
Yep.
lot of times we get to a situation where we tend to think too much. And a lot of times that thinking comes from outside interference. What happens on the football field, coach, when, I mean, you just finished the football season, so I know you've seen plenty of this from the other team, not from your team. What happens when they start thinking?
Start playing slow.
When we start playing so what ends up happening, bro?
Bombs over Baghdad.
You ain't never lied, bro.
You
We
make
start
mistakes.
we start making mistakes. We start slipping back into bad habits that
Study
we
long, study wrong.
you ain't never lied. So if we understand that right there at the base level, we understand at the base level, we can start making them incremental steps to start getting and raising our standards. The cool part about this is, and again goes back to what Jay Will said, was that I know he's like, I know myself. I know what my standard is. And the crazy part is that when you know what your standard is, when you tell somebody what your standard is, they automatically assume that their standard is lowered.
Yeah. They want
Your
to push
standard,
their standard onto you.
look, that ain't got, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing what your standard is. I'm telling you what mine is. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That got everything to do with me and where I'm at and where I'm trying to get to. So if my standard is here and this is where I want to get to, respect the fact that I'm trying to get and keep my same standard, right? Respect the fact that I'm trying to get to this level and stay at this level and be past this level. I'm trying to continue to
Yeah.
grow, right? It's very difficult for a lot of people to see that side of it when you're putting in that much work. The one thing I want to go back, kind of rewind on, is the honesty in the work. Because a lot of us say that we doing a lot of work. I'm guilty of it too. I think all of us are guilty of it. But we say we're doing this work. We're doing these things. But are you really doing those things? I want you to take inventory. I'm not saying you ain't doing it. I want you to just play it back in your head. Are you actually doing the work? Or are we just talking about doing the work? Are we just saying that we're doing the work?
Well, coach, here's the thing with that. You could be doing the work, but could the work be better? And is there still loose ends on the other side of this work? So, I think about it kind of like locking up your home. You know what I'm saying? At
Okay.
the end of the day, you can lock up your home, you can put the system in, you can put the alarm on, everything, right? You're not dumb enough to leave the door open. You're not dumb
I
enough to leave a window open,
hope not.
right? You would hope not, right? That's the same thing with leaving loose ends where you can still leave the opportunity for something to creep in and rob you and rob that essence and rob that work. So what I'm trying to get at is yes, you're doing, but are you still making sure that you're guarding it to the point where nothing can come in? Are you making sure that you're being steadfast with this rhythm to where if something comes out of left field, are you going to have the ability to respond correctly? Is your foundation rooted the way it needs to be able to respond to something that's not supposed to, that now is not within the rhythm that you've been in? How are you going to respond to those things? And what I've discovered even within these past few months, because I've had to adjust my sleep schedules and all this stuff for football practice multiple times because games switch and all this other stuff. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, those things that come out of left field, when you're rooted, it's so much easier to adjust because you're not trying to do it at your own will. It's to me, I almost receive it like, here's an opportunity for improvement. In the past, I would see this as a man, things ain't going my way. Or, you know what I'm saying? I would look at it as something to make me bitter. Right. Now
Hmm.
I look at it as like, okay, I mean, I used to respond this way. Now look how I'm responding. I used to do that. I used to. And within that, I'm able to identify how much growth I have now made since these little incremental changes from 2 years ago when they started. It was just a small little inkling, small little sprinkle. And now it's manifesting into this. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And when I talk about the manifestation of growth, man, I'm just talking about the level of peace and level of like, just can almost say like, I don't want to know. I don't know if courageous is the word, but like, I
I
don't
think it is, bro.
have, I don't have the fear of being who I am. I
Man,
don't, I don't have the social pressure or like field or angst to try to make anybody else like me for a version of myself that I'm not.
I love how you put that because again, that when we talking about exploring like those behind the scenes efforts that you putting in, right? That labor rarely shows up in public results.
Oh, 100%, coach. And it's in those moments, man, where I've
Hmm.
discovered like that's where your relationship with God really flourishes. It's because those moments where it's just you and him. And it's your thoughts, the things that have clouded your mind for Lord knows how long, and you didn't even realize that you've been operating within another rhythm that wasn't even in line with his. And now my whole like timeline has shifted, and everything that was promised, and in scripture, anything that he promised to you ain't gonna, it's still gonna be there.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna give it to you.
how much did I delay? How
And
much
there it
have
is.
I been? How much have I been delaying? You know, and then with operating in that space of talking to him, man, it's just like it's so much easier. I won't say easier, but it's better. I'll
Coach,
say it's hard for me to say easy because when people think easy, you automatically think no, like there's not going to be obstacles. There's not going to be. That's why I don't like the word easy. But it is easy in the sense of knowing that you're not doing things in your own power.
correct. Now, I'll say it, I'm gonna say it like this, yo. I'll say it like this. I think the word is easier. I'm gonna say it is easier. I'm gonna say
Like, trust me,
the
you heard my first word that wanted to come out of my mouth,
I
and
feel
the
you,
only reason I was like hesitant is because somebody that's currently not currently like how we are on our walk
but that
wouldn't be
right
able to
there,
wrap
bro,
their head around it.
exactly. But that right there, bro, is exactly what we're talking about. That's the public result. That's where again we try to find that same likeness so that way we can
Mm,
make it easy for them so that they can understand it that way, right? But if it's already understood, it don't need to be explained, right?
100%.
So if we already moving that way, we can have that conversation and we get it. You know what I'm saying? If we
Yeah,
coaches, we get it. It's like being on the football field and seeing that one player that's like he got it,
the game
man.
easy for him.
He got it. Like he got it.
Yeah,
We could just tell him, hey, hit A and go.
and it's gonna be there every
And
time.
it's gonna be there every time, bro. Cause he know he got it. He understands it. But then you want them other kids where you like,
They're
hey,
hesitant.
I need you to get the ball, secure the ball, tuck the ball, 3 points of contact on the ball. Once you do, like, we got to go through all of these steps
There's
just so
yeah,
that you can get it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
That's good.
so I understand what you're saying. Like, I had that same struggle too with like saying easy, but I was like, as you were talking, I was like, yeah, bro, say easy, bro. Say easy because it
Yeah,
is
no, I
easy
got it is, man. It
once
is,
you
bro.
get to it. Once you get to it, once you start building the foundation, you got it at that point. You have a rhythm at that point. That's why it's easy for you to get up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, punch the clock and start pounding out the weights, right? It's easy for you to
100%.
get up and stay up and get those things done. It's easy for you to do a full 8 hour shift and then
And
go and work with the kids at the end of the day, right?
and you know what's crazy? It's harder to backslide now.
Crazy, right?
It's like a complete 180. Complete 180. But here's the difference, coach, and I can say this because it's true. 3 years ago, God wasn't at my forefront. 4 years ago. And I mean what I mean by that is yes, I prayed, I believe. I was Luke, I was 1,000% what Revelations talk about with a lukewarm Christian.
Your triangle shifted, bro.
I was lukewarm as can be. So of course, I was living, I was operating, I was doing all these other things, but I was literally having a mental war with myself, with a version of me that is slowly still coming into fruition that had been wanting to come out for Lord knows how long. That version of me was trying to battle to come out for a minute. And I just kept suppressing it, trying to do things my way. And I think, I know the first test for me um, was when I had the opportunity to take the middle school job. Because at this point, I had always wanted to be identified kind of with my coaching status. I've been a coordinator, I've been a special team, I've been a D coordinator, I've been a special teams
Mm-hmm.
coordinator. Like, man, if I go down to middle school, they say that's pretty much the pits of hell for a coach. Like you go down there, it's over. And I felt that conviction, and it was like, man, if I don't take this, I'm gonna always wonder why, how. And at the same time, I'm still receiving all this conviction of saying, man, I need to change my perspective and I need to spend more time, one at home with my family, but with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know the framework of it yet. but I felt that pull and that tug saying, do it, do it, do it. And I did. And I hadn't looked back ever since, dog. And, literally since that day, bro, the amount of time that I've been able to spend with my family, the amount of energy I've been able to pour into my wife, the amount of time that I've been able to reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, man. And the funny thing is, it's like he never left.
No.
And when I it makes me tear up sometimes because it's like, man, I neglected that. And through the amount of grace, mercy, and things protected, the amount of things that could have went wrong that didn't go wrong because of the works that he was doing that was unseen that protected me. I'm like, man, I neglected that for that long. I don't know if I know you'll forgive me, but I'm, that part of you that always humanity is like, man, you gonna forgive me for all of that?
Like I'm doomed.
You know what I'm saying,
But
bro?
but
So it's
but God.
but God,
Right?
bro. But
The
God,
crazy part
man.
is that again, when we talk about this, like getting that public view, right? You want that. I think we are all wired to have some kind of recognition. And I think a lot of times when it comes to the invisible work, you don't get the recognition from a person, right? Because we're so
100%.
used to having it from a person, right? You do something right on the football field, coach comes over, slap you on the head, say, "Hey man, good job, good
Good
play."
job.
You know what I'm saying? Snipe you on the ass, like, "Hey man, good play, way to get to the ball, way to do this, way to do that," right? You get that recognition right away. We're so used to it as people to get some kind of a recognition, it's harder to do the invisible work because ain't nobody body patting you on the back telling you that good job.
You know what's crazy? Because you know what kind of helps me feel that
Mm.
and receive that without intentionally looking out for it? Giving it.
Crazy,
So
right?
seeing someone, man, I respect it. I see what you're doing. Seeing that person, that overweight, obese person, or even that old elderly person, or whoever the case may be, and man, I see you. I respect it. I've done it a couple of times, bro. I did it just last week. Two brothers right next to me, man, getting after it on the bench. I'm like, hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you. That looks rough, man. I respect that. You know what he said back? Hey man, I see what you doing too, man. I respect that.
Didn't even
And
know you
it
were gonna get that.
wasn't even looking for it.
Exactly. You were just giving it. And that's
Just
the
giving
crazy
it.
part, right? Like if we are more intentional about giving those things, like God will put you in positions where you will give recognition to where recognition is due.
And this is where I'm talking about with like the past few months of this, that retrospect of Lord talk to me in a way that I can see more,
Yeah.
right? And humble me to the point where if you are talking to me, humble me to the point where I can't ignore it or um like I need to be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
help me. Just help me. You know what I'm saying? And he'll always do it, bro.
You always
Always will
answering.
do it,
Yep.
bro. He always is showing himself to us. It's just, will we do the work to humble ourselves to try to understand his language? His when and it's written in Isaiah. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So we're not going to completely understand. But when you root yourself in gratitude and you start thinking like, man, I'm currently living in the prayer that I prayed for. And when you start thinking about those things, it's like, man, when is he not listening to you? And think about the unanswered prayers and be grateful that they were unanswered
Absolutely. So,
because life wouldn't be the way it is.
ooh, some bringing me back to something that I saw a couple days ago, bro. That again just hit home. It just hit home. There was a meme that I saw online, and there was something that he said. I think I shared it in our chat, in our Coach Life chat. But there was a meme that had popped up, and he said, and I hope I don't butcher this because I don't got time to go and look it up real quick. But I remember him. I believe how he phrased it was, I had to get free from wanting God to get me out of situations and thank him for putting me in situations
Mm,
that I need to be in to grow myself, essentially.
dog.
That's
This
paraphrasing essentially.
I've said that before in this pod, bro. I was like, I prayed for patience, and God made me a middle school coach.
You ain't got no patience. He's like, I'm finna put you in a situation where you finna get all the
And
patience.
because you know what's crazy about this? It's like I tell Bree sometimes, like I know I still need to work on my patience, but then I've had two of my coaches that I work with every day tell me, "Boy, you got the patience of Job." I'm like, huh? Me?
I hear that from coworkers all the time, bro. I'm saying like, what you
Like,
mean I got patience?
I got
I feel I'm
patience?
hostile right now.
Yeah, like I'm always on go.
hmm
I always feel like I'm on go. But it's some of those things, it's like it's that invisible work. It's like God has been working on you so much that you don't even recognize you're not even the same person you were even a year ago.
Nah,
And you don't even respond to things. And this should have made you feel this way, or that should have made you feel this way. Like, yeah, maybe 2 years ago it would have made me feel that way. But
probably, probably, but right now it's a mute point. The crazy part about this coach that also kind of triggers a lot of people, like I said, is when you raise your own standard, people tend to feel like I'm downplaying a standard, like I'm making your standard seem less than. I think again, like I said, once you understand where your standard is, like you're able to kind of navigate through that pretty well, right?
yeah,
A lot of people have a tendency of, and you can see it. I mean, you can absolutely see it. Like when you say that, like you ever get into an argument with somebody now after these past 2 years, I've seen your growth. I've seen your growth firsthand. Blessed to be able to see your growth. Prayed during this time frame for your growth, for my growth, for Lloyd's growth, for everybody that we've had on this pod's growth. I've seen it firsthand. Has there been a time where you have seen or been in an argument? And when I say an argument, I mean it was one way. You not arguing no more. You calm, cool, and collected. But they mad?
plenty
There's
of
plenty
time.
of times where I've had them type of situations. I know I have. I know you have too. Where like 2 years ago, had we had the same argument or the same conversation, it would have turned into something negative. But because of where I am today and how I handle situations, just like you said a few minutes ago, I don't see it the same way. I can keep my composure. I can keep cool under pressure. I can keep my mindset in this situation and get you to see that I'm not gonna lower my standard because of the invisible work that I've already put in. I'm not gonna lower my standard to be on that same tier with you right now.
Coach, have you ever heard of the analogy of the difference between the thermometer and the thermostat?
Yes, I have, and please, for those in the back, in the front, and on the sides, let them know what that metaphor means.
So a thermometer simply just tells the temperature, right? We all
Super
know
simple.
that's super simple, right? A thermostat, you are able to change the dial and to be able to control the temperature within the room. And why that's important is when you operate within the space that Steve's been talking about, um, you naturally become a thermostat. And the other saying that I love is a high tide raises all boats, or a
That
rising
is
tide raises all
raise
boats.
all. Yep.
And essentially, is you get to a point where you don't compromise your standards. And me, you and I talked about this pre-show. Um, when that standard gets deviated just a little bit, and God grants you that grace and mercy, you look at that and you be like, I still got work to do.
Man. Hey, what happens when the thermostat's broke?
I go get that thing fixed, and now the air just keeps running, and that bill goes crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When your thermostat broke, you end up, the house goes to the temperature of the
Whatever's
outside.
around, 100%, and it just continues to go.
So if it's cold outside, it's gonna be cold inside. Hot
Mm-hmm.
outside, it's gonna be hot inside.
You become
Thermos,
you conform.
you conform to what the outside wants you to be. When it's working though,
You change that bad boy whenever you want. It's hot outside. Nah, I want it cool inside. Super cold outside. I want it to be a little toasty tonight. I want to go ahead and
what tends to happen to the stuff inside the house when you change the thermostat though?
everything starts adapting to whatever the new temperature is.
So it start rising to the tide, right?
100%.
Man, man, man. It's so simple sometimes that we complicate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
That's what we talked about in the beginning. We got to cut the distractions, cut all the noise. Whatever you are saying is not a distraction. Yes, it is. Whatever you're saying, social media is not a problem. Okay, cut it off then. If it's not a problem, cut it off. You know what the convictions are because you justified
yep. Or you make
it.
the
You know
excuses or the small little
the
changes or
nuance,
the
coach.
new
And
right. This is okay. This part of it is okay.
I know it because I used to do it all
Same,
the
bro.
time.
Same.
When I had the conviction of saying I needed to cut alcohol, what did I do? Well, I'm not going to drink hard liquor. Well, I'm not going to
I'll
drink
just have
beer.
13 beers.
I'm not going to, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to drink beer. I'm just going to drink wine. I've done these things, bro. So I know exactly the phase of like the spiritual journey a lot of us are on. And
Hmm.
because of that, I am able to look back and I'm able to tell you now, hey man, just cut it off. I've had to tell my homeboys, bro, you really want to take something in control, go 21 days without it. My nephew-in-law in February, I want to say, we had the same exact conversation. And he was telling
Hmm.
me he had a problem with a vape pen. And I told him, I said, bro, go 21 days without it. I had another homeboy that coaches in college. Same thing with alcohol. Felt that conviction. I said, bro, go 21 days without it. Both of them, after 21 days, said, bro, I don't think I'm ever gonna do it again. I said, bro, trust me, bro, that 21 days of whatever it is that you are trying to fight,
Hmm.
and I'm not, and it can't be 7 and a slip up. It can't be 6 and a slip. It has to go 21 days, no slip ups. And watch everything transform.
And it always
Dive
does.
into it always does, bro. Everything since I've since because my church is what helped me get on the 21 days of prayer and fasting.
Hmm.
And at first, I only did it when they did it, right? But I
Hmm.
discovered is, man, whatever I need to go ahead and get done, hey man, today is the day. I'm finna go 21 days. Today is the day.
Makes
Whatever
it
the
super
case may
simple.
be, man, you know what it is. You know what it is, especially as a man who has any type of fortitude. You know what it is that is keeping you or hindering that connection.
It's so dope when you get to that level. It's even doper when you get to that level and you able to bring other people with you.
Because what's the number one form of mastery?
Oh, if you can teach it.
Bingo.
If you can teach it, that's when you elite at that point.
Bingo.
You've hit the next level at that point.
So that ties into what you said about your that video that you watched with your
Hmm.
boy, whatever he was saying about. thank God for putting me through what I put through. Like you
Yep.
go through what you go through so that you can help somebody else go through it that is going through it, come out the back end. That's why I
Yep.
told you, like, me, you, and Wash have talked about it for the longest. Like, I don't understand the concept behind gatekeeping. Why would you
Facts.
keep everybody behind the gate? We all trying to go home.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
So you just gonna say F, screw all them? Nah, man, I can't get down with that.
I think it's something to be said though, when you personally are able to see, track, and value your own invisible work. When you're able to do that, when you're able to take inventory of the work that you're doing, and you can say that these are the things that I'm putting in place for myself, not because of anybody else, not because of any other thing other than what work I need to do so that I can get better and be better. When you're able to take that inventory and actually see the work that you're doing, you start seeing where the holes are,
Mm-hmm.
right? You start seeing exactly where you are, where you aren't complete at, right?
What requires to be able to do that though, coach? You got to slow down.
What you mean slow down, coach?
And you got to slow down, man. You got to be able to. It's hard. You can't slow. Life is gonna go at the pace that it's gonna go. Right? But you have to be. When I say slow down, you have to be able to. Everything else around me is going on. Work, everything that's outside of me and him. And if you don't find a way to operate within gratitude and see like what has already been done for you,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to even have an identity or an idea of what is going to be for you later. You gotta slow down, see what it is, see
Hey,
where I'm
bro.
at, see
Hey,
where I've
coach.
came from.
I had this conversation with a coworker that just came back from vacation. They've spent the whole week out in Jamaica. Just got back home last week before the
Before the
hurricane
hurricane.
hit. Yeah, man. So, man, God bless everybody that's dealing with that right now for sure, for sure.
Facts.
One of the things he said was, "Man, I came back and I got a pile of work. I got like emails like crazy. I got Teams messages left and right. I got a bunch of stuff that I got to follow up on. I got a whole heap of work that I got to catch back up with." I want you to think about that same thing from the invisible work standpoint. All the work that you should have been doing for yourself, that's all piled up right now. All that work that you
Mm-hmm.
got sitting on you right now, that you not doing right now, that you not wanting to go do, that you avoiding, all the stuff that you saying, I'll get to eventually. I'll start doing it eventually. I'll stop smoking. I'll stop drinking. I'll stop doing these things. I'm gonna incrementally stop doing these things. That's just piling up. That's just gonna make it that much harder for you to hit the switch and say, all right, I'm going to make that transition. You just made it that much harder on yourself at that point.
Spiritual debt.
Man, how many of us in that? Yeah, financial debt. Yeah, financial debt. We understand that. But how many of us are in spiritual debt? Because I know I definitely was in that. 100% in that. I'll get to it. I'll eventually. This is my favorite. This was my personal favorite, coach. This is my absolute. This is my go-to. God know my heart.
100%. And you're right.
Crazy, right? Oh, you know my heart. He know how I get down. He know my heart. He know I'm a good person. Fact is, yo, you ain't good,
How
and
can he
you
have
never been good.
how can he know your heart when he doesn't have it?
Facts, facts. Hey, man, I'm gonna throw this at you too, cause this just popped in my head. And I just had this conversation with my wife. We were just talking about this. Um, Seeing this meme. Me and my wife again. We need to get off social media. Seen this meme where this kid was talking reckless to his parents, and I'm like, not in my house. I looked at my kids was like, I wish y'all would talk to me like that. I wish you would come at me like that, the same way that this kid came in here. My kids like, why would we do that? Like, we would never do something like that. The first day you start doing something like that, that go to door. I love you too much to have you in my house doing that. And it dawned on me. That's why a lot of us going to hell. Because he love you that much where he don't want you. I can't have you in my house acting like this. I love you too much to have you in my house acting like this. So I'd rather you do it out there.
It's God loves you so much, he'll love you as you are, but he won't leave you how he found you.
Facts.
He
Facts.
will not leave you how he found
Facts.
you. You could come to him as you are, but you will not be left the same.
No. But you have to understand the work that's required to keep going and doing and being close, right?
Stop ignoring it,
For
man.
so long, bro, for so long. When I was a kid, and I shared this, I think I shared this on one of the pods before. When I was a kid, I used to get like a lot of like Lloyd. Lloyd still to this day gets vivid dreams. When I say vivid, I mean vivid dreams.
I'll document on mine, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a point in time where like when I was a kid, I used to get like almost like premonitions. Crazy. Like I had a vision when I was had to be like 8, 9, 10 years old, sitting at a desk with some sort of computer in front of me, talking to it. What are we doing 2 years, 2 years ago? What did we start doing?
Mm-hmm.
I was 8, 9, 10 years old, bro.
Coach,
No
I told
understanding of that.
I've told y'all this before. In 2010, when I was at Texas State, one of the drummers at church came to me and prophesied over me. And first thing he told me was he felt like there was this um resentment that I've been holding on my father. I never have talked to this guy day in my
Yep.
life.
I remember that story, bro. Yep.
You remember this story?
I definitely
The
do.
very next time I saw him, we started talking again. And he started telling us, he was like, man, I see you and a group of men, and y'all are like on the streets, and y'all are wearing black shirts with white letters.
Hmm.
And
Crazy
it's
work.
and that's all he said, bro. And fast forward 15 years, here we are. No, it's
Bro,
not
when
crazy. It's not
eh,
crazy when, like we talked about, slowing down and
when it,
understanding
when you
God.
understand the foundation.
Man, how did God talk to, was it Jacob? How did God talk to David? Like, how did he talk to these? He talked to them in their dreams. How did he talk to Solomon?
The crazy part is, bro, as I got older, I stopped having less and less and less and less and less of those dreams. Start getting less and less of those premonitions, of those spiritual views of the future, right? I stopped getting those. I saw my wife before I saw my wife, bro. I think I told you this. Like I prayed for my wife. I didn't know Nina at all. Prayed for a woman like her that had the same type of discernment, the same type of focus, the same type of all that, and I got exactly what I asked for. Exactly what I asked for. Because I prayed for it. I saw that. I saw it. But as I got further and further and further away from God, I got less and less and less and less of these premonitions and these visions of these dreams of that direction. It's crazy when you get so it's almost like again when you see somebody like it's like you again I let's take it back to coaching. when you're on the sideline and you giving plays and you give the play to the quarterback, but they're on the far hash, and you got to get some information to the far receiver over there. It's kind of hard to yell at him and tell him what's going on when he's so far away from you. He don't understand what's going on, so he's gonna start doing his own thing. What happened when we started doing our own thing? Busted play. There's the pick. There's the interception. There's the sack. There's the something that shouldn't have happened because we so far away from getting our instruction. We so far away from the instruction. But when we closer, we can easily pick those things up. We can easily hear those things and we can easily understand those things and we can start executing on those plays right away. We can start executing immediately at that point. So the closer you get, the easier, like we said before, the easier all this stuff starts to shape up.
And you know, staying on the same level is once you're able to hear better, so does the opposition. So, oh, that's what you about to do. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this. Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this. And then that's where you have to continue to pray for discernment and continue to stay rooted because when you're able to identify where these things are coming from and why they're happening or why they're trying to happen, again, you don't fight these battles. You
Right.
give it to him.
I had a
But you
play.
can't identify the battle if you don't know who on your team, bro.
I had a play, bro. You ain't never lied, but again, it's about paying attention, right? I remember a play in college where I am on we are on the closest hash to the to our sideline. I'm playing wide receiver and I'm right by my coach. Line up on the numbers. Standing there right by my coach. My coach come over to me, bend down and say, "Hey, run post." I'm like,
He just heard that.
you just told the corner. Like, so what you doing right now,
He
bro?
gonna cheat in and back up.
Exactly. I'm like, he already know what I'm finna do. Run post. Like, I'm not finna run post. Like, there's gotta be a trick, bro. Like, I know. Like, we run an NCAA. So
You really want me to run a post
you
corner?
really want me to run up? Right, exactly. I'm finna run my own play. I was like, gotcha, coach. Right? Like, oh, he played a trick on him. I got him, right? Bruh, I ran a fade. That ball got picked off.
No, bro.
Because quarterback threw post, bro. Because he had already told the quarterback, I'm gonna tell him the play, I'm gonna tell him the route once he get out here. He already told him what it was. So I was out of sync. I didn't run what I was supposed to run. And the reason why he asked me to do it because they had a safety blitz. So there was nobody over top. It would have been just one on one, bro. It would have just been me just running a regular route and just doing my job, bro. But because
Just trust it.
I wanted to do my own thing, bro.
Coach, but the safety's right.
Exactly.
Run the
Run
post, man.
post,
I'm
bro.
telling you.
Because I'm watching film and I'm telling you when they line up like this, because I heard this all week. All week, bro. You know what I ran all week the next week? Post. So we ran post all week long, bro. 50-yard post. That's like we gonna run 50-yard posts until you don't till you got that ingrained in your head. This is what we doing. But because I was disobedient, we had a pick. And I'm coming back to the sideline mad at him because I'm like, you told him to play. That's why I got picked off. No, it got picked off because you didn't follow direction. That's why I got picked off. And if you looked at it, bro, like dude was slower than I was. He was just in the right position because he was just floating around in the middle of the field. If I would have just ran my route like I was supposed to, bro, it was open. Because he drew it up on the board and everything. It's like, I'm going to pause it right here so you can see. You would have been open right here. And that's exactly what would have happened. I would have caught the ball right there, bro. It would have been on me to just catch the ball and get my six. But because I was disobedient, because I wanted to do it my own way, because I was so concerned with everybody on the outside and what they were doing. We got to pick. So it's something to be said about paying attention. It's something to be said about following instruction. It's something to be said about doing your job to the fullest. It's super simple, but we overcomplicate it so much. We overcomplicate it so much. And it's crazy to me now as, being so much further in my walk than I've probably have ever been in my entire life, how disobedient I was to the small things
which
that
always leads to the
compound.
big things.
Exactly, that compounded so much. Like I could have been so much further ahead in my career and in a lot of things had I just put more time into that work and stop worrying about the outside world affecting what I'm doing. Man,
Cut off,
sometimes
disconnect,
you have to.
unplug,
You have to. You have to.
unplug, man. Go back to where it's just you and him.
And for those individuals that don't get it, that feel some kind of way because you're moving a certain way and don't understand it and fight you on those things, come on, bro, do this with me. Come do this with me. Come do this. Let's get like what happened? What happened? Why you not the same person no more? I feel you, bro. I feel you. It's a slippery slope. When I know myself, I know my standards, and I know what my weaknesses are, I can't take the chance of doing these things because of all the invisible work that I've been putting in. I just negate all that if I do this. Because this
I
only
got,
pleases you at the end of the day.
yep.
This is
I gotta
pleasing for
sleep.
him
I
and
gotta
me.
sleep with me.
Facts. Facts. I gotta sleep with me at the end of the day. I gotta feel comfortable about this. I have to be at that level. So it's that foundation, setting that foundation for yourself, getting yourself to a place where you can see, like you can visibly see your growth and taking that inventory. That's why I said, like, you really need to look at, are you actually doing the work? And once you've taken that inventory and you can actually see that you can check the boxes and say, I'm doing these things. I'm maintaining this routine. I'm maintaining this rhythm. Everything else just start being way easier, way easier. The anger that I've had at one point in my life is massively melted away.
Facts.
The the fear that I've had in my life magically melted away. The appeasement of others has just magically melted away. Like I don't care how I show up for you. I care how I show up for me because that's how he wants me to move. I know how he wants me to move now. So it's easier to follow the script when you understand how he wants you to move and what direction he needs to push you in. But again, it all comes back to you doing the work and not caring that someone sees it differently than you see it. That's cool if you see it differently than I do. I'm not on your walk. I'm on mine. I'm not supposed to see it the same way you see it. I can understand what you're doing. I may be able to offer some advice on where you at and what you're doing because I may have been there at one point in time. But I'm not going to subject myself and lower my standard. Because again, when you say that, people feel some kind of way about you lowering their standard. But that's because you didn't have a standard. You just feel some kind of way because I said something that just poked that little button of yours. This was a good one, bro.
Back like back like we never left.
Man, man, just like just like it was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask a favor from the listeners out there. This week, next week, I want you to take inventory of the individual invisible time card that you've been punching. How often have you been punching that clock? Have you been punching the clock? Have you showed up to work?
Be honest. It's okay to say no, I have not been.
Hey, you ain't hurt nobody but you at the end of the day. So you can be honest at that point. That's you taking your own inventory. So if you can lie to yourself and say, "Oh, just to make yourself feel better," that's cool. That's what you want to do. Cool. You're just gonna be in that same rat race.
Every single time. New year, new people, same results.
Same results, yo. I think they call that insanity, right?
Correct.
Crazy. Take that inventory and see if you've been punching that clock. And if you have, fantastic. Keep punching the clock. I promise you, there's a payoff at the end. What happens when you go to work every day? At the end of the week, you get a
You,
paycheck, right?
you get a paycheck.
So it worked like that in the financial world. Do we not think it don't work in same respect in the spiritual world?
It works in every avenue.
Works in every avenue. So take
Compound, compounding works in every avenue
absolutely, absolutely.
because it's
I
rooted
want
in consistency.
there it is. So take inventory of how often we punch in that clock. How often are you punching that clock, and how often are you staying true to it? Be honest. Think about the again. I'm not telling you to have like this laundry list of things you're doing, but what's the one or two things that you actually are doing on a weekly, daily basis right now? Are you that's helping you get results for your family, for your team, for your friends, for yourself, for him? Are you really taking inventory of those things? And what are some of those things that you actually are putting in play right now that actually help you make the needle move? Blush.
Thank you.
That invisible conversation with yourself is super important. That behind the scenes look is super important. That self evaluation is super important because it gets you to the root cause of why you're not making no changes, why you still stuck in the rat race. I know I had to do that for myself, and that changed my perspective significantly. How I interact with people is very different now than I probably have ever interacted with people. You get people, again, when you at a certain temperature, when you that thermostat, it's easy to get people around you to feel that same temperature. Super easy for them to see it. So, Coach Luna, close us out, bro. What's your closing remarks, bro?
Man, declare war on yourself.
Whoo! I like that.
Declare
I
war
like
on
that.
yourself. And no war has ever been won on one day. You know, a war, if you any of my historians out there, if you paid attention to any point in school, you know that there's a lot of battles that go in and that accumulate into a war. And to the correlation of what we're currently talking about, the battles right now are those same are your convictions. And the overall war is ongoing. And the thing with the war, when I say declare war on yourself, is you and your flesh. And you know, the thing with when we talk about flesh, typically we only think that it has to deal with lust. That's a
Mm-hmm.
part of it. But it comes with anything that keeps you from him. That's your flesh. The things that quote unquote brings me pleasure and makes me I start identifying with the things that make me feel good. That's my flesh. That's one of the themes that go on with that's a common theme that's currently going with obesity
Hmm.
is I love the way food makes me feel. Okay, so how do you go to war with that? I start starving myself from the things that I love. That's I'm not gonna eat any cake. I'm not gonna go get this. I'm not gonna. Those are the small battles,
Hmm.
and then that starts pouring into something else. Well, now I'm gonna start going to the gym. Now I'm gonna start doing this. Then I'm gonna start doing this, and all of a sudden that compounding starts working in the same opposite direction. And what you'll discover is along that path, he's right there with you, and he's just guiding you closer and closer to him every single time. When he left us after when he resurrected, he said, "I'm gonna leave the helper with you." The helper is the Holy Spirit, y'all, and that's that inkling that's always there, talking to us, telling us, "Do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that." Listen to it. Listen to it. Why would it lead you in the wrong? Why would it lead you in the wrong? I just vividly think about your coach telling you to run that post. It's the same thing, dog.
Hmm.
Just do what you're being told to do. And I'm telling you, the result, you'll never know what it looks like because you never went this way. You don't know what this, you have no idea what's on the other side because you never went this way.
Yep.
Just go. Doesn't matter what you may think it looked like. It doesn't matter. You know who's talking to you. Do it.
I love
That's
that.
literally been my testimony for the past 2 years, bro. Is just do it
You like that
because of
Nike, bro.
all these years, bro. It's been like questioning. Are you
Hmm.
sure? Are you sure? You sure? Nah, I'm gonna do this instead. And every single time is you look back and you reflect, like, bro, why did I do that?
I should
You
not
know what
have
I'm
done that.
saying? Shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Why did I say that? Why did I blah blah blah? And you just you'll consistently beat yourself up. And that's why I say, man, you got to declare war on you. And all of the war, what it comes down to, is just saying, Lord, I'm gonna let you lead. I don't know how that's gonna look every single day, but I know that I need to get your word in me. I know I need to talk to you, and I know I need to minimize myself or minimize exposing myself to things that are not yours. And if I can do that, I can almost guarantee that I'm going to be on a path that's going to lead me closer to him.
There ain't no almost, coach. You gonna be on that path.
Bingo.
You gonna be on that path. The real work isn't that's not always on the calendar. That's in the quiet hours. That's
In
the
time,
system
dog.
reset.
Same time, dog. Because we're always trying to find caveats. Like, turn the TV off. Turn it off. I ain't getting enough hours in the day. I
Mhm.
promise you, there are enough hours in the day. There's just not enough hours to get rid of your distractions. Get rid of them. Unplug. 21 days. I promise you, you'll come out a different person.
Facts. That'll do it for us. If you like what you heard, smack that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more from your Coach Life fam. Until the next time, family. Stay positive, my friends.